Hello, this is Robert Smith. I'm actually in a park here at Waikiki, and actually all around me there's this tree. I don't know what the name of the tree is, but the limbs become roots and they grow all the way down to the ground. So it's like all these limbs and the roots are going down the ground. It's kind of interesting. One of the healing attitudes is your fear controls your behavior, and fear can become your master. Pain and fear are one and the same. The interesting thing is, and I mentioned this to you before in some other videos, is that what you fear becomes your master. What you fear tells you what to do. Fear can, and probably is, the most powerful force in the universe, unfortunately. And the reason why I say that is, say for example, you have issues with Hawaiian shirts, and all of a sudden you're watching this video and I have a Hawaiian shirt on, and all of a sudden you say, oh shoot, I got to get out of here. One of the things I use in my office, I have a green couch, and I say, well, if you have a fear of green couches, I'll open the door, you see the green couch, you're out of there. It controls you. And so what we do, and one of the most powerful things, is making peace with our fears. Of course, I use a couple of concepts. Resist not your enemy. Make peace with your enemy. Having no fear within you. So when you have fear, make peace with it. That means you release your reaction. Now some people say, well, isn't fear a good thing to have? I said, well, there is good fear and there's bad fear. And I say good fear is that there's a rational, logical understanding. It's not that it's fear, it's an honored respect. For example, I have an honored respect towards poisonous snakes. That means I'll walk around it, I'll stay away from it, I move quickly if they're near me, if it's wise. But if I think about snakes, I don't go into my heart pounds, and I don't sweat, and I don't act crazy. That's an illogical, irrational fear, and you must release why you have it. And usually, most of the times, when you have a fear, it's because of experiences. There's always a path, and there's a lady who took me 3 minutes actually to eliminate her fear, and it was the fear of spiders. And so here I am, I'm in Wichita, Kansas. She volunteers. I said, what's your fear? I have a fear of spiders. I said, well, this happens to be one of your luckiest days because I brought my spider with me today and it's under your chair. She about jumped out of it. I said, I'm just kidding. I just want to make sure you really had the fear. And then within 3 minutes, using the quick tap, we cleaned it up. Now, of course, I asked her, I said, why do you think you have this fear? How do you know you have this fear? And she says, well, I know why I have this fear. I said, well, how do you know? She said, well, I remember at 6 years old, I'm eating breakfast with my brother. And he looks at me with a smirky look and he goes, well, how'd you sleep last night? Fine, I guess. I said, well, last night I put a daddy long leg spider in your bed, put all the legs out. So she ran upstairs to check her bed, and she screamed as she found the dead spider in her bed. That was the beginning. And she said, oh yeah, another time, sitting on the pot at camp, and it crawls out from under the lid. My husband would come home and he'll know that there's a spider somewhere because there's a pile of shoes, and underneath that pile there should be a dead spider. So she had this fear, and I said, well, right now, how do you know you have this fear? I said, do you have an image? She said, oh yes, it's like a big giant spider in front of me. You can see her heart pounding through her chest. 3 minutes, one wham, it just went. One wham means one round. And all of a sudden, it's gone. I said, go back and bring it back. So my heart's not beating through my chest. I said, can you see the spider? What do you see? And we addressed and we tapped over and over again and made sure that she was at peace. And this is no lie, guys. I bought a tarantula, and I still have it, by the way. And we're talking probably about 8 years ago or 9 years ago. And I bought it and I took it to Wichita, Kansas, because I've been going to Wichita, Kansas. That was one of the first places I did seminars. And I took this spider, and I took this spider with me, and I had pictures of people holding this spider who were sweating and petrified of the fear of spiders. And I gave her this spider, and she named it Sheila. And of course, I've owned Sheila since then. You know, she kept it for like 6 months or a year. I don't know how long. She called me up and said, hey, I'm ready to get rid of it. I really don't need it anymore. You know, you buy it. The only thing you got to do is water it and buy it some crickets every now and then. And so, and unfortunately, it's a female spider. And the reason why I say unfortunately, because they say they can live up to 30 years. So I'm stuck with this thing for 30 years. Sheila. Oh, by the way, I did feed her and water her before I leave. And you don't have to feed them very much. You know, I can give them one cricket and it'll last a long time, like 2 or 3 months even, you know. But she has to have water. So, anyway, making peace with your spider fears. Making peace with all your fears. It could be the fear of rejection, the fear of anger. It could be the sensation of whatever it is. Make peace with it. And as you make peace with it, you gain control. It no longer controls you. Make peace with your enemies. Release the fear. This is Robert Smith, still in Hawaii, doing some little videos, and I'll do some more. Aloha.